Chapter 196 of One Punch Man absolutely blew my mind, much like I know it's going to blow your mind. In this chapter, we get a massive theory confirmed that could explain exactly how God is going to come into play in the story. And speaking of God, there's potentially some new absolutely groundbreaking information revolving around the potential existence of multiple gods. And on top of all that, this chapter leaves off on an awesome cliffhanger, so you're definitely going to want to stick around to the end. I cannot tell you guys enough how much I love this chapter. It was absolutely awesome, a banger of a chapter, but enough of me talking here, let's get right into it. So if you guys remember in the previous chapter, we left off on a massive cliffhanger where Flashy Flash finally confronts Blast about his knowledge on the Ninja Village, where of course Flashy Flash came from, and also questions him about the Ninja Leader. Well, that's exactly where we pick up from in this chapter, but essentially Flashy Flash is kind of rehashing the information here, saying how he's almost positive that Blast knows something about the God Cube that was at his Ninja Village, and also about the Ninja Leader himself. Well, Blast isn't denying any of this, and he says that he understands if he resents him for it, and what he's going to be resenting him for we're going to see in a second. But Flashy Flash goes on to point out that some years ago, he went back to visit the Ninja Village after he had abandoned it, and found it all destroyed with these like missing spherical chunks out of it. He then goes on to the lab where he remembers the God Cube was stored that, he remembers in his flashback that we saw a chapter or two ago, and notices that that's gone as well. So then Flashy Flash points out that as soon as he saw these like spherical empty spaces where the God Cube was and where the Ninja Village is, he deduces that this was likely Blast's power, which, this is how he deduces that Blast has something to do with the God Cube disappearing and also has something to do with the Ninja Leader. And what's super awesome is that in the next page here, we actually get a look at the Ninja Leader in this recovery capsule, because we also got to remember that last chapter it was pointed out that he was in a recovery capsule after a battle with Blast for 15 years. And this is him in that recovery capsule, and he looks absolutely awesome, looks very similar to his version in the webcomic, and we're getting this flashback of when Flashy Flash and Sonic first came across his body. They both recognized that he wasn't human, because obviously he doesn't look human, he looks like a straight up monster. And this is when we get the absolutely massive reveal, because Blast is pretty much like, yeah, you're right, this guy was actually my former partner. And we get this image of the front of what this guy looks like. And those keen readers out there and those that have been heavy in the theory space of One Punch Man, this is something that you might have already predicted, because if you remember in the chapter Secret Intel, where Stitch is giving like the backstory to Blast and why he's so secretive, and told everyone about the first time he actually met God like 20 years ago, or 2 years ago actually, he points out that Blast had a partner along with other collaborators, and we only got a shot of his partner's back. We didn't get to see anything else. All we saw was his back with these two crossed swords on it. Well, now we're getting the full-on reveal of his partner, and confirming the theory that a lot of people were thinking about, that somehow his partner had betrayed Blast at some point and received powers from God and became evil somehow. What's more interesting than that is that we also get the name of this guy, which by the translations that I have now, seems like his name is Void of the Empty Sky, or Void of Void, or Space Void, something to do with Void. We see that there's like a marking on his forehead that has a V on it, so I'm sure that Void is somewhere in his name. But that's not the most important thing that we get revealed here. The most important thing, and the thing that got me the most excited, is that apparently this former partner of his is the only one that can open this interdimensional gate. I think he calls it the Heavenly Rock Gate or something. Again, we'll know for sure once we get the full translations out. But anyways, his partner is apparently the only one that can access this gate that is apparently this door to this alternate dimension that God resides in. And he's the only one that can reach it. At this moment, it seems like when Blast is explaining this, he's either talking about a space where God resides or a space where multiple gods reside. And that is a huge difference, because if there are multiple gods, then that's a massive reveal for this chapter. And I'll have a whole separate video on that if that ends up being the case. But for now, I think the more likely translation is that this is a dimension where God resides, like one singular God. This is God's place. And again, as I just said, this Ninja Leader apparently is the only one that can access this alternate dimension. And that's why Blast is so fascinated with turning monsters back into humans like we saw in the previous chapter, because of course he wants his friend back, and at the same time he would be valuable in reaching God's alternate dimension that apparently he can't reach himself. We know that Blast can kind of travel to different dimensional spaces and stuff like that, but apparently he's restricted to certain areas or something, because he can't reach this alternate dimension where God is apparently living currently. Well, we kind of cut away from this massive reveal as a member of the Hero Association walks a letter over to Flashy Flash, because apparently he's receiving a letter from somebody, and the letter seems to be kind of cryptic, telling him to meet him at a certain place. And as he's reading this letter, Blast points out that he finds it kind of convenient that after 15 years, right now is the time that the Ninja Leader is choosing to awaken. Blast Blast thinks that there's something behind the timing of this. Maybe after their battle, the ninja leader fled with serious injuries and decided to recover for 15 years exactly for a specific reason, because there's a certain event that's going to be happening soon. That's kind of the thought process that Blast has right now. Blast's former partner and the ninja leader having this insane ability might also explain exactly what Blast has been doing with this like intergalactic Justice League this entire time. In the Monster Association arc, it was revealed that Blast has been working with this like intergalactic team this entire time to investigate God, and they all seem to be pretty damn strong because they were all able to divert the Serious Punch squared so it wouldn't like destroy the world or anything. And it seems like Blast is interacting with them in this multi-dimensional space. So that means it's likely that most of these heroes that he's working with, if not all of them, also have some kind of dimensional powers. So this is how they kind of reach each other. And they all have a similar goal of trying to reach God and defeat him for good. However, it seems that they still can't reach God even by collecting the God cubes, because now that it's revealed that this ninja is the only one that could reach the dimension where God is residing, apparently, that's obviously a major problem they've probably been working out behind the scenes. And it gets me super excited to see what this, Justice League from outer space is doing with Blast and what powers they might have, because it's kind of implied that they're on a similar or on the same level as Blast. Well, Flashy Flash continues reading the letter, and it's pretty much telling him to meet someone at a place that only he knows about. Flashy Flash realizes that this letter's from Sonic, and thinks that maybe he's trying to lure him to that spot to ambush him with the ninja leader or something. He thinks that maybe the other ninjas have gotten to Sonic already, and in a way that's true, because we saw in the previous chapter that all those random ninjas with stupid names jumped in to tell Sonic to kind of join them in defeating Flashy Flash and getting rid of him for good. And we didn't see the outcome of that. We didn't see if Sonic agreed with them or not. So Flashy Flash might be right here. Well, interestingly enough, Flashy Flash leaves to go meet up Sonic at this undisclosed place, and Blast, Monako, and Saitama go somewhere else. Maybe they're going back to the Ninja Village, or maybe they're, going to be hiding in the shadows providing Flashy Flash backup if he needs it. It's not really specified here, at least in the translations that I have, but I guess it's not really important in this chapter because we don't see Blast or Saitama again, and Flashy Flash starts heading to this meeting place to go see Sonic, and as he's traveling there, he thinks back to this moment in their childhood where Sonic and Flashy Flash were sitting around this campfire and kind of sharing their dreams and aspirations. Well, really, it's more so Sonic doing it. And we see an interesting side to Sonic that we haven't seen before. He talks about how he hates the way the Ninja Village runs now, how they're forcing kids to become assassins and forcing them to live a certain lifestyle. And Sonic reveals that he wants to open his own Ninja Village or relocate the Ninja Village under different pretenses. He doesn't want people to be forced to be assassins anymore. He wants people to live their daily lives and chase their aspirations, like a real pure childhood dream, right? And in this flashback, he even points out that he already knows exactly where he wants to start his new Ninja Village or relocate the current one. And he puts down this map and points to it. So we're kind of supposed to put two and two together that the undisclosed place that Sonic told Flashy Flash to meet him at is the location that they talked about in their childhood. So Flashy Flash turns out to be right because Sonic is right there waiting for him, and Sonic points out that the place that he chose to be the new Ninja Village that he dreamed of before actually ended up being this landfill where people would illegally dump shit like all over it. So it's just this massive dirty landfill now. And Sonic says something honestly kind of sad here on the next page. He says something along the lines of, "It was a foolish dream anyways," and the page ends with both of them drawing their swords, and in the bottom text it says something along the lines of "the place where dreams go to die," kind of referring to Sonic's dream of opening a new ninja village and starting it with, better morals and letting people live their lives and stuff like that. That dream seems to be dead right now. So again, that's a side of Sonic that we haven't been exposed to before, and that alone would have made me love this chapter. But like on top of that, having all this Blast and God stuff and this new ninja leader apparently being the only one to access the alternate universe where God currently lives, where the universe where it seems like he's imprisoned or something, that's absolutely massive and a huge reveal here. The next major question I have is exactly when is this ninja leader going to come into play, because apparently he's awakened. That was pointed out in this chapter that he has finally awakened and he's looking for Flashy Flash. So are Sonic and Flashy Flash going to fight, and then maybe the other ninjas and the ninja leader pop in and we have this like all out ninja brawl? Or is this when Blast and Saitama step in, because Blast does have a history with this guy and he has some unfinished business with him? So are we going to see Saitama versus the ninja leader in this like epic battle or something? And this is maybe when Blast actually remembers how strong Saitama really is, or technically kind of acknowledges it for the first time. I know that most of you that have read the webcomic already know how everything goes, but it seems like the manga is going in a different direction. So I hope that One and Murata really expand upon this, and the ninja leader has a much larger role to play than he did initially. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment though. Let me know if you're as excited as I was reading this chapter in the comments below. I can't wait to see what you guys think. I also want to give a massive thank you and shout out to Hajun and Floppy in my Discord. Floppy cleaned up the panels that you see in the video right now, and also Hajun is the one that translated the chapter for all of us in the Discord, so thank them in my Discord if you're a member, and if you're not a member of my Discord, be sure to join because I post the chapter as soon as it releases there, and also the translations for One Punch Man. Every single chapter is posted right there, so, you know, again, thank you to you guys, and I hope to see you in my Discord channel. That is it for this one, though. Have an absolutely wonderful day, afternoon, evening, whatever, and I'll see you guys in the next video.